And welcome back to another session of Gaming with God. I'm your host, Grumpy Old Dude. Today we're going to start probably a 3-part series, maybe only 2-part, excuse me, on using the Dungeon Maker in Solasta Crown of the Magister. Now there are still issues with the Dungeon Maker. Probably one of the biggest issues is that it's really iffy on allowing transitions from one map to another. So we're going to limit our operation to a single map dungeon. One level, one floor, not going to tie it to another map. I did a video not long ago where I showed the issues I was having with that. I can do a multi-map dungeon and it works just fine until I populate the first level of the dungeon, and then it won't transition into the second map anymore, even though it will have transitioned to it prior to my having populated the dungeon. That video is posted on the Solasta forum. It's posted here on the Steam forum as well, and on my YouTube channel. So we're going to show today how to use the Dungeon Maker, but we're going to restrict it to a single level, a single floor, okay? Just one map. Obviously, you boot the game up, you're going to go to Dungeon Maker, and you can see where I've done a number of things here. I'm going to do new location. You give the thing a title here. We're going to say Bandit Camp. When you start a dungeon, have an idea what you want to do first, okay? Kind of plan out in your mind's eye the concept behind what you're doing. And this is bandits have been raiding, and you trace them to this abandoned crypt. There we go. Author, version, minimum character level. We'll start you at level 1. Maximum, level 3. Okay, now the environment. We only have one environment right now. It's a crypt, necropolis. I am going to use a large map. Visual mood. We have Crypt, Inferno, we have Strange. You know, I said we've chased them into an abandoned crypt, or we've tracked them to an abandoned crypt, so we'll go with Crypt. Now, ambient music down here. I don't know if you can hear that or not. There, see? Here, Kiflin. Prison escape. So you can set your ambient music to try and help set the mood a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go with Necromancer. Now I'm going to bring my volume back down. Okay, here we go. We're going to do that. All right. You have to have a starting room. And I am going to have this start like so. Okay, now, before we go anywhere, we need to delineate this room separate from everything else. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blocked door here, and then over here I'm going to put a regular door. Now the reason for doing that is when you start the party, they're going to have a few things. First, you have to have your entry point. All right, we're going to put that right here in the corner. Entry index is 0. Do not put a 1 here. When I put a 1 in as my primary entry index, I had a misload on the map, wouldn't load up, and it just caused all kinds of issues. Your primary entry point will be a 0. Okay? So there's that. Now, we're also going to have to put a campfire in there, because when your party starts, your players start in there, their spellcasters are not going to have any spells ready. So they're going to need a long rest in order to do that. Now, in order to rest, these again are things you need to think about. You got to have rations. Okay? Your party is going to start here from scratch. You can't import existing parties or characters that have leveled up and whatnot in the world of Solasta. So you don't have a store, so you've got to give them everything they're going to start with. Okay? So that's what we're going to do before we even start on the dungeon. We're going to come in here, using the mouse wheel to zoom in, and then the arrow keys to move around. I want to zoom in on this so that I make sure I get the container and not something else. I don't want to delete something. We are going to specify what we put in there, so we check explicit items. Okay? Because this is just random loot. Obviously, the higher the number, the higher the value of the random loot. But we don't want to randomize what's in that chest. So we're going to specify exactly what's in it. Okay? Then we come over here, add element. Click on that, and all the goodies that you can add come in. Now let's start with the obvious stuff. They're going to need weapons. Your party is going to need weaponry. Okay? Now they will start with the basic weaponry. Do you want to give them anything extra? All right? I always put arrows in there and crossbow bolts. All right? I don't necessarily put magic ones in there. Okay? But clerics will start the game in Solasta usually with a crossbow. So I'll put maybe 40 crossbow bolts in there. They might have 2 clerics in their party. I don't know what their party composition is. All right. And then arrows. I'll put maybe 80 arrows. Okay. How about 2 short bows? Just in case, because they can't buy any. So let's put 2 short bows in there. And what else do we want to put in there? Okay, let's put some armor in there now. All right. Let's do, let's not do armor. They're going to start with their basic setup, their basic armor. Okay? So let's not do armor. Let's look at magic devices. Now, you're also going to have to provide a means to short rest so that they can attune if you put magic stuff in here. Okay? Let's say, let's potions of healing. Let's put 8 of those in there. Here's 1. They don't have to attune to that. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And this is how you got to do it, just over and over again. There's 6. There's 7. And there's 8. Now, we also know we need rations. They can't long rest without rations. That'll be under adventuring gear, I'm sure. Let's see. Ration pouches. There's 5. 10. Goodberry does not work in a dungeon. You have to have rations. This will let them long rest twice. A party of 4 will consume 4 rations long resting. There's 10 rations. Let's give them 1 more. That would let them long rest 3 times. Okay? Now there's 15 rations in there. So we've got some arrows in there. We got some crossbow bolts. Got a couple of short bows. We got some potions of healing. And we put rations in there so they can use the long rest. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Now, what you may want to do is put crafting scrolls in here so that your party will be able to craft things. The problem with the dungeon maker as it exists right now, let's see, here's a scroll of, well, that's not, here's a scroll of bless. All right, you can put a crafting scroll of bless in there so that the cleric can learn how to make a scroll of bless. Here's the problem. What are the ingredients to make a scroll of bless? Anybody know off the top of their head without looking it up? Because this doesn't tell you. Okay? So what you need to do, you'll have to go back and forth from the dungeon maker into the game. Dungeon maker into the game. Find out what the ingredients are for the scrolls you want to be able to put in there for crafting. Same thing for potions that you want to be able to craft. Make notes and then come back into your dungeon maker. You can put the crafting scrolls in. You can put the how to make the potions in. Crafting of scrolls, potion crafting. And then you can come over here to the ingredients and put the appropriate ingredients in so that they can do the crafting. Now, you don't have to put them all in this one chest. You can spread them throughout the dungeon so they have to be encountered and accrued and accumulated. They doesn't have to all go in there right off the get-go. Okay? But it doesn't do a lot of good to give your party how to craft a scroll of charm person if you don't put the ingredients in there to be able to make a scroll of charm person. So bear that in mind. Now again, magic devices have to be attuned. So if you put something in here like, let's see, Wand of Fear, Wand of Lightning Bolts, Wand of Magic Missiles, you put something like that in there, you've got to provide an opportunity to short rest so that somebody can attune to that. Okay? And we're going to put nothing in there. Maybe a +1 dagger, +1 short sword. Boots, belts, bracers. There's bracers of defense, bracers of archery. Okay, these are things you could put in there as long as you provide an opportunity for your party to be able to use them. I'm just going to give them a few basic goodies here. Okay, and we're going to do that. I'm not going to lock the chest. I'm not going to trap the chest. Here's your starting chest. This is where they'll come in and start from. Here's the starting chest. And there's an opportunity to long rest and get your spells memorized. Okay, now, you want to have an idea of what your layout is. Again, this is going to be a bandit camp. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to run a 4-way stop off of this, 4-way intersection here. And we are going to run to rotate. You just hit the R key. Line it up so that your white lines line up. There, you're too close. Okay, it's red. There you go. Right there. Okay. Now, like this, for example, has a dead end here. You don't want to put that there because you can't get through that. Like that you could, okay? But I don't want to put that there. I just wanted to use that to illustrate something. All right? I'm going to run this down another layer, and I'm going to put another 4-way in. And here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I'm going to run what would be the billet area, the barracks, if you will. It's going to be down here. Now, why am I putting 4 of these things in here? Well, hopefully, somewhere along the line, TA will give us more stuff to put inside than just the necropolis things, okay? What I'm looking at is I would have a common area here where they could kind of wrestle around, horse around, target dummies for swords and maces and stuff like that. Here would be a sleeping area for some of the guys. Here would be a sleeping area for some more of the guys. And here would be a sleeping area for some more of the guys. These would be the higher ranking ones, screened by the lower ranking ones. Okay? That's what would be over here, a barracks area. Over here, maybe this would be the armory. Barracks here, training grounds here, armory there. Okay? Over here, like this, we could have a mess facility. This is where the guys would all come in and eat. And you can have a door or opening here, a doorway. That's not a problem. Okay? You could make this into a kitchen. You could make this into a storage area, right? Pots, pans, and all that kind of good garbage that would be there in order to facilitate the mess hall. Okay? Now you come down over here. And we're going to have the command area. All right? This is where the boss is going to be. He's going to have guards out here, right? He's going to have a way for them to move around and try and flank and everything else. Okay. And let's see. I'm going to delete that. That's not the piece I want. And you go up here and hit undo. It just undoes the last thing that you did. Okay. I'm going to put this large thing in right here. Okay. Now there's our entire layout. Now, what we need to do is put walls in so that you don't have a hallway leading off into the void. So I'm going to duplicate. And before we go any further, because our leadership is not dumb, they are going to have secret doors that are not painfully obvious. 16 difficulty check to detect it. We're going to duplicate it right here. Okay. That's a secret door, so the guys from here, if you make it all the way through all this stuff and you're up here and you're just kicking butt and taking names, this guy decides he wants to bail, he's going to go out through those secret doors and come out here while you're over here in his hallway. All right? And maybe you'll put one here. That's not quite so well hidden. Okay, that's a 14. Those two are 16s. They're going to be tough to see. That one's a 14. A little bit easier to see that one. Okay, so we're going to come down here. And we're going to give our lieutenants a chance. I want to do that. I don't think I do. I don't think I do want to do that. And just to dress it up so it's not all walls, we're going to come over here and we're going to put a blocked door in. And we'll put a blocked door in here. We'll put a blocked door in there. Okay. Come back down here to walls. Put a wall there. Rotate. Turn it sideways to put one there. In there. And there. Now you see where it's red? You can't place it there. It's got to be just that pale pink. Beige. Whatever color you want to call that. So you put your walls in all over. Because like I say, you don't want the room to just lead off into nowhere. Let's do another collapsed door. Do another collapsed door. Just to have a different look every now and then. Okay, now what else could we do that's a little bit different? There is a wall with a crawl space in here. Okay. We could put one of those right here. Yeah. We put one of those right here. Okay. Let's see. We could put one here. Hard to rotate. And we could put one here. Now, that's not lined up. We're going to move this last one because we want them to be symmetrical. We want the symmetry. Make it a little easier on the eyes. Okay. Now we said this would be like the kitchen. This would be like a storage room. You might have doors on the storage room. Okay. Lock it. You don't want the guys getting in there and helping themselves to the foodstuffs that are stored. So we're going to put a decent lock on there with a 16. Let's see. Now, when you put these four-ways in, they have chests already in them. You don't have to leave them in there. And if you do leave them in there, you don't have to fill them. Okay, you can, and this is why I zoom in and make sure I just got the chest and I don't have all these other goodies that are in there dressing that up. You can delete it by clicking on the trash can. Gone. Okay? You don't have to leave those in there just because it's on the map. Container for loot, make sure that's what it is. Delete it. And the same thing there. There we go. Now we don't have any containers in there other than the one that we put in to start with. Okay? So, we've got our basic layout here. Got our entry. We've got a starting chest with some goodies so that the party doesn't start without spells and without some rations and some ammunition for missile weapons. Okay, so we got some basic stuff there. Remember, in character creation, they're going to come out with armor, sword, shield, that kind of stuff. They're going to have that. Okay, so you don't need to give them everything. But they are going to need something, sustenance and ammunition, because there's no store in here to get more. Okay, so that's going to be a wrap for this first episode, if you will. All we've done here is had the idea what we wanted to do. This is going to be a bandit camp, a bandit stronghold, if you will. It's an abandoned crypt that they've come in and they've cleaned out, and they're rearranging the contents in order to suit their needs better. Okay? We'll come back another time and we'll dress this up a little bit. We'll populate it and we'll go through how to do all that. All right? Once you've done this, then you want to come up here and save. Content saved. Bandit camp. Okay, you close out. And there's our map right there. Bandit Camp, Grumpy, Large Necropolis, level 1 through 3. All right, when we come back to it, we'll select it. We'll click Edit. And look what happens. It comes right back to us. Okay? So we'll see you on another time. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you've got ideas above and beyond anything I've discussed so far that applies to this issue, let me know. Say them. Put them in down there. Talk to me about it. Let's get a discussion going. Let's explain to people how to use the Dungeon Maker that comes with Solasta Crown of the Magister. Now, come May 27th, not quite a month away, or maybe, just a little bit over a month away. The full version of Solasta, the full release is going to take place. I am hoping that there's an upgrade to the Dungeon Maker. I would really like to be able to move from one map to another consistently so that we can make some larger dungeons. You can see I've got a 4-level dungeon here ready to go. But that's another topic for another day. Okay, folks. Hope this gave you some information, got a little bit out of it, had a little bit of enjoyment. Hit that like, click that subscribe. We'll see you on another day. We'll continue with episode 2. Between now and then, folks, stay off my lawn. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.